Oh, hey. Today, we're going to be talking about how to make money homesteading. I'm doing a book review on this today, so stay tuned for what I liked about the book, what I didn't like about the book, and my overall review. If you're new here, I'm PJ with the High Mountain Homestead. We're a homesteading operation dedicated to better soil, better plants, and better animals. Let's get to that book. Overall, I thought this book's pluses were that it gave a ton of ideas about homesteading, how to make money doing it, and where it fell short for me was the depth of those ideas. My situation is I am somebody that is interested in homesteading for the first couple of years just to get my feet wet doing it. I do have sheep. I want to start a more legitimate gardening operation. We have some areas for row crops, small scale stuff. I just want to benefit my family. And then maybe in a few years we'll find ways to monetize it. So I was hoping this book would really give me the ideas and then tactical execution of those. And I felt like it just did the first part, which was the ideas. Here's my favorite thing about this book is that it does give 18 real life experiences from homesteaders that write in and say, this is what I'm about, this is what I do for homesteading, this is the kind of returns we get. And that was cool. That was so cool to see what these people are doing. What was really eye-opening to me about that was that I learned that people weren't just making money in obvious ways. Essentially, the takeaway of this book is you will be successful monetizing your homestead if you can produce something that people cannot get in a store. Two other entries that I thought were really, really cool from this book were, one of them, somebody was making cheese, and the thing that she did that was very cool is she didn't just make cheese, but what she would do is she would make a lot of cheese and basically have a cheese tasting party where she would sell tickets and people would buy tickets or buy a table that they would go to the party. It was like a cheese and wine kind of thing. And it was really, really cool, actually. Another example, there was a guy that essentially built a mechanism that made chicken management easier. It turned out being so useful to him that people, when they'd come over, they'd ask him about it and say, oh, I could use that. And so he started building them for friends. And then, he started collecting money for building them. And then he realized, oh, apparently this is like a legitimate need that I'm filling in someone's life. And so he opened up a website. Now he ships them. Some of the things that I had problems with, however, were the lack of depth on those ideas. And I did mention how the plus of this book is that there were a lot of real-life homesteaders talking about what they're doing. The downside is that I thought some of those entries were actually pretty darn sloppy. Like, there were typos in it. And that really frustrates someone like me, who I read this, I'm like, okay, editor, you couldn't even screen for the typos. Something else that I think I had a gripe with about this book was just the overall mindset of what homesteading is. So my reason for getting into this is, my wife and I have always wanted a deeper connection with the earth. We also wanted our kids to know how to work. And for health reasons too. We wanted to homestead for health reasons, meaning we wanted to know exactly where our meat and our produce was coming from and to feel proud about that. Whereas this book really takes out all that romantic stuff that I just talked about and just says, no, homesteading is a means to earlier retirement. And so to me, it just kind of bothered me and rubbed me the wrong way that it was, talking about, so if you really want to live off the grid and save money, buy a piece of land in the middle of nowhere and stop paying rent. It was you know what I mean? Or stop your mortgage or whatever. I am reviewing this book from my vantage point, and to me, that did not speak well. The other side of that coin is they also talked about, by the way, if you have a 9-to-5 job, your world is fake. Your world is not as good as what it would be homesteading. And I also didn't like that either, because I think there's a lot of good to be had by people working 9-to-5 jobs and providing infrastructure for the world that I live in. And so that, again, that bothered me as well. I will say, one thing that was very concrete that I got from this was how to sell meat. basically you sell somebody a live animal. So let's say you want to buy one of my sheep. You say, PJ, I'm interested in one of your lambs. I'd like to buy a whole lamb when you bring that to butcher in the fall. I say, great. I will take the money now, and you are buying a live lamb. And as a courtesy to you, I will take that lamb to the butcher, and he or she will chop it up and give it to you, and you will then come to the butcher and pick it up. It's already paid for. And the disclaimer here is I'm not a lawyer. I'm not giving advice on that. I'm just saying what I read. And to me, that was quite interesting and really helped me realize, like, oh, for the scale that I'm doing it, it turns out there are options. It's not just like, well, you don't have access to a USDA butcher facility, so it's just not going to happen for you. It illustrates that there are options out there, which I really appreciated. Again, definitely good stuff to be had in this book. Okay, as far as my overall rating of this book, I give it 2 stars. And the reason why it's got 2 stars instead of 1 is because of the 18 real-life experiences from other homesteaders on there. That was really valuable. Now, I'm not saying don't go and buy this book if you want ideas, because that is the strength of this book. But to me, the whole reason why I review books on my YouTube channel is because I feel like if you're like me, you can get ideas online. And if I'm buying a book, you better give me more than just ideas. You know what I'm saying? But again, if you want ideas, you should go out and get this book. Thank you for watching my review of How to Make Money Homesteading so you can enjoy a secure and self-sufficient life by Tim Young. If you do want to purchase the book, I'll put a link in the description here. I'm PJ with the High Mountain Homestead. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. I just burped, so let's cut that out. Cut!